Alright, this is Kid of All Trades. Today we're going to be installing a porch swing up there. You can see I've already started kind of removing the soffit. I didn't get too far before I decided I wanted to put this up on YouTube. But you got the swing right there. Something to note right off the bat is what they give you with these swings. It's just a little eye bolt. It's not even a bolt, it's just a screw. And it's not very big. You can see it's kind of small. This thing fits two people, average, I'd say average in America anyway, of two people sitting on one of these swings is going to be approximately 400 pounds. This isn't going to last you very long. So something we're going to have to get is an actual eye bolt that will go all the way through a 6-inch board that we're going to install up here in between these boards in the rafters. We need to have a bolt that will go all the way through and that we can thread a nut on both sides. The reason to do it on both sides is to prevent the bolt from actually twisting while you're sitting in the swing. And I'll show you that later. So that's one of the things we're going to have to get. We're also going to have to get a 6x6 post, cut it to fit in between those joists up there. And then we're also going to get some little metal frames to put the 6x6 in so that they can sit in there and provide us some extra stabilization. The goal is to put one over there, and we'll probably put the other one, it's going to be on that far side over here, and we're probably going to connect the one eye bolt there, and the other one's probably going to be around there. Alright, so first thing we got to do is we got to get some of the soffit removed. I need to get out to about here, somewhere in that area, so I'm going to have to remove that piece, and we'll go ahead and pull off that piece. Soffit's kind of a pain in the butt to get off. I'll just forewarn you on that. Something to get up here and take a look at real quick. You can see that when they put it up, they put a little nail in there. There's a couple of them in there. There's one down there. Just got to be really careful when you're pulling that out. Make sure you don't damage the soffit. This stuff, a lot of times when it gets weathered, it'll change colors and you cannot match it again. So if you end up damaging one piece, if you want to make it look normal again, you have to go back and you have to buy the whole set again. So do your best to not damage any of that when you're removing it. So, show you this real quick. So the soffit is got a little groove right here. And what this does is it fits in, flip this around, fits in under here. So that groove fits in under that. So basically when you're removing it, you have to kind of pull down, push out towards the next piece, and then pull down, and it should come off pretty easy. Since I'm going to have to buy an 8-foot board anyway, this is about a 6-foot gap, it's about 5 actually. We're probably just going to go ahead and brace in between here. We'll go ahead and do one here and then one here. That'll give us the option to switch things around if we want. But the important thing is we gotta measure it, make sure that we are getting the correct size board. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be about, it's about 6 feet, it's just short of 6 feet. Alright, so we gotta go out, we gotta buy 2 eye bolts. We gotta get 2 nuts per eye bolt, so total 4 nuts, and we gotta get 2 washers per eye bolt as well, one for the top, one for bottom. So we got to get 4 washers, 4 nuts, and 2 bolts. And again, what we're going to do is these are already 6x6 right here. We're going to put a metal frame here. We're going to put a 6x6 post in between here that's going to fit up in between this gap. Going to nail everything down, make sure everything is secure, and then we're going to drill a hole, probably one here, somewhere around this vicinity. And then we're going to put a nut on our bolt, we're going to put a washer on it, put it in the hole, put another washer, another nut on top, tighten everything down, do the same on the other side, and then we'll be ready to go. Again, that's something that it says we're going to have to make sure we have the soffit up and marked where we're going to drill our hole through that before we do it. But we'll get to that, and that'll be next. Alright, so I'm getting back to this a little later than I initially planned. It's a little dark out right now. That's alright, that's what lights are for. So, I couldn't find some of the supplies I wanted at Lowe's, which, you know, sometimes it happens. They were out of 6x6s, so I ended up having to go with a 4x4. It's treated lumber and everything, so it should be fine. But I did find the eye bolts that I needed. And what I was saying earlier is basically you want 2 nuts for your eye bolts. You want one down at the bottom with the washer down there, one at the top, washer up there, and a bolt in between. And when you get it to the height that you want and everything level, then you tighten everything down and you get it to hold still. And then when it's sitting up there and you're swinging, you won't get any of this rocking back and forth if you just had it up here. So that's why we did that. Some of the tools you'll need a screwdriver. Highly recommend a power screwdriver. It makes life a lot easier. You're going to need one anyway to use the drill to drill through the boards. Tape measure, some screws, and that's really about it. This is something I got from Lowe's as well. These are braces. They're meant for 2x4s or 2x6s or 2x8s, whatever. So I had to do some hammering to make them fit a 4x4. But anyway, got 6 of them, 2 for each one. That's going to go between there, and there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the wall over, and I'm going to go about 3 feet in, so 36 inches. And I'm going to put a brace there, put a brace here, put a brace here, using these things as the main supports, going here, 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 and vice versa. And once I got all those, then the next step will be to drill the holes and move on from there. Alright, so now we got the boards up. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a chalk line, put up a straight line for where I want to put those holes. I've already got a 36-inch mark laid out here. Just keep that straight here. Don't fall down. Okay, 36 inches here. Pull it tight. Now we got a straight line to use so that we can hang our swing straight. Next step is going to be measuring the bench, making sure that we've got adequate space. We've got 51 inches, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our holes up at 52 inches spacing up here so that we can have our chains pulling outwards a little bit instead of pulling inwards towards the people sitting down in the chair. Alright, now for the fun part. So I've got my measurements put out. I've got one over here and then one over here. The fun part is putting the soffit back on and trying to make sure you get the exact holes that you're wanting. So I've got a little trick that you can use to make that easier. And what that is using some screws. You put one right in the center of where you want it to go. Right on that chalk line and right on my mark. Leave it hanging out about 1/4 of an inch. We're going to do the same thing to that other mark over here. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put up a piece of soffit. Double check, make sure okay. And make sure that we're still looking good there. Alright. So reverse how we put it on, or how we took it off, excuse me. We put it on. Slip that side in. We're actually probably going to have to get to the next one. Bend it up a little bit, get it in, pull it tight. Okay. And we are actually right here. This is going to be a lot easier. A lot easier than I was expecting it was going to be. So, because we've got it at the edge, we don't even have to do my trick. But what I was going to say is you can use those screws, get your soffit up where you want it, and then you just basically pound up where your screw is, and you'll leave a little indentation on your soffit where you need to put your hole, where you need to drill your hole. Then you take it back down, remove the screws, and then put the soffit back up, and you'll have that nice puncture mark or that indentation to know exactly where you need to drill your holes. We don't need to do that because it's literally right here on the edge. I can see the screw, and same with that one. So that honestly just makes life easier. Alright, so what I've done is I put 2 nail holes, excuse the bugs, good lord, 2 nail holes in the soffit where my marks are. See, there's one, let me zoom in just a little bit more. You got one right there, and then we've got one down on the other end as well. If we can get there, it is. Alright, so now the fun part is putting up the second piece of soffit and getting the holes just right in alignment. So because it is dark out, I am going to need the use of a flashlight to make sure I get this in line properly. So I know it's roughly around here where that hole was. So I'm just going to peel back the soffit just a little bit. Go down, find where that nail hole is. It's right here. Okay? Now this is going to take a little bit of guesswork, but it's right there. It's going to be about here. It's going to be right about here. So now I can put it back up, pop it in place, take a look at it, make sure my holes line up. And I missed it literally by about a 1/16 of an inch, which is close enough for this. So there's one. Alright, now before we install the rest of the soffit, we're going to leave that open so that we can get access above the soffit so we can put our eye bolts in. But first, we have to drill our holes. I don't need the hammer anymore. Right now, anyway. Sometimes things require 2 hands. Alright. So, make sure you are directly under the hole as much as possible so that you can drill as straight up as possible. Because you don't want to have an angle if you cannot all help it. So try to look at it from 90 degrees on one side and then straight to the other side. Exceptions to install your eye bolts. Now, something to make this installation a little quicker with eye bolts is either have, and I'm dropping everything right now, is either have a screwdriver on hand or use another eye bolt. You just stick it in here, you screw it in. You do want to make sure your eye bolt is parallel to the direction that you're going to be rocking. So we're going to be going back and forth like this is how it's going to hook in. So you want it to be facing like that. You don't want it going sideways because it's going to twist your chain. It's going to cause all kinds of noise and other issues that you don't really want to deal with. So Just try to get it as straight as you can. Alright, good. Now we're going to leave this loose for now. We can either put the other end of this on, but I'm going to actually put the other eye bolt on the other side after I find where I dropped my nut. Alright, got my wrench and my crescent wrench. I'm going to go ahead and put this one up here. Put my flashlight on so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten it. I've got the bolt on top and the washer. I'm going to tighten it, and I'm going to tighten the bolt up to the ceiling so that we don't have any of these threads showing. Before we get too much further, let's make sure we're straight, which we're not. Push that back into place. Crescent wrenches are an amazing tool, by the way. Alright, tighten it just a little bit more and we'll be done with one. Alright, now that we've got those put in, what we've got to do is put this last piece up and we'll be done. When apparently we put the soffit back in, we put it a little bit tighter than what they initially installed it as. So we're getting a little bit of a bow down here. It's no problem. All it means is we have to take these, they're just nails, but we have to pop these nails out, push everything in where we want it, and then we get a hammer them back in. So a little bit more work, but nothing major. Alright, now that all the soffits were installed, it's time to finally put up the back. Alright, let's test it out. I still need to tighten down those bolts up there, but don't get much better than that. I'm not gonna lie, it is a bit of work. It requires some effort, but knowing how to do it and what you're doing makes it a lot easier. Makes it go by a lot faster. Alright guys, double check that. That's just chain settling. Ken of All Trades, I appreciate you checking out my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. I do plan to put a lot more of these types of videos up. I'm trying to reinvigorate my channel. I'm trying to do something new compared to what I had been doing. So if you guys enjoy what you're seeing, let me know. And if you have any ideas for me, just let me know those as well, and I will do my best to accommodate. Alright guys, take care.